Even the toughest souls in the city's notorious Crescent Crew knew something was wrong. Every corner was bathed in an eerie silence that neither midnight gunfire nor the siren's wail dared disturb. Normally pulsating with illicit activity, the winding labyrinth of the city's hood now whispered tales of an abnormal chill. The saga began when Chopper, the crew's savage enforcer, disappeared without a trace. Disappearances weren't unheard of, but for someone like Chopper, who was as integral to the hood as the graffiti-covered walls, it sent a cold shiver through their spines. Days later, Chopper returned, but he wasn't the same. His usually vibrant eyes were sunken, his complexion unnaturally pale, and there was a strange, ominous demeanor in his movements, as if he were a puppet on invisible strings. One by one, the toughest gangsters fell prey to an unknown epidemic. Returned with the same vacant eyes and an eerie sense of silence, they would roam the streets aimlessly, as if driven by a force beyond their understanding. As the afflicted multiplied, it became clear they weren't dealing with a common enemy, but something from the deepest pits of hell. These men were undead, their souls snuffed out, leaving behind mere shells hungry for the living. Terrified but resolved, the remaining gangsters rallied under the command of their leader, Razor. A man not easily frightened, Razor had fought for the survival of his crew against rival gangs, the police, and the system that had forgotten them. But this was different. This was a fight against an unholy plague. The first confrontation was a bloodbath. The undead, with their supernatural strength and immunity to pain, tore through the ranks. Desperate and outnumbered, the gangsters found their usual arsenal ineffective. It wasn't until a sharpshooter, Trigger, stumbled upon a solution: a headshot. The effect was instantaneous. The undead gangster dropped, never to rise again. Armed with this new knowledge, they improvised. This was a new kind of warfare. A bloody ballet danced on the precipice of life and death. Through countless horrific encounters, they began to understand their enemy, learning their patterns, their behavior. They noticed the undead seemed to be drawn to certain areas in the hood. Razor ordered a reconnaissance mission. Ghost, a fleet-footed runner and graffiti artist, was tasked with tagging these locations. The patterns emerged. The undead were converging on spots tied to the gang's history. Piecing together the puzzle, Razor led a desperate gambit to the abandoned church where the Crescent Crew was founded. Could this place hold the key to their curse? Inside, amidst decaying pews and a crumbling altar, they discovered a forgotten underground crypt. A single coffin lay in the center, draped in dust and time. A sense of dread filled the air as Razor pried open the casket to reveal a skeletal figure adorned with the original gang insignia. The founder of the Crescent Crew, known only as OG. A realization dawned upon Razor. Their own bloody history, the violence and suffering, had birthed this supernatural curse. The sins of the past had come back to haunt them, turning their own comrades into predators. With grim determination, Razor unhooked the insignia from OG's remains, whispering a vow of change, of redemption. The insignia was set ablaze. As it disintegrated, a horrifying screech echoed from the crypt, resonating through the undead on the streets above. One by one, they collapsed, finally succumbing to the rest they had been denied. The battle was over. The undead menace was quelled, but at a hefty price. The once feared Crescent Crew was reduced to mere fragments of its former glory. Yet the survivors found a new resolve. The curse had left a gaping wound, a wound that needed healing. After that night, things began to change. Instead of ruling by fear, the Crescent Crew used their influence to foster unity and rebuild the community they had once terrorized. Razor, the battle-hardened gang leader, became the unlikely beacon of change. Turning from illicit trades, they poured resources into repairing the hood, cleaning graffiti, revitalizing the abandoned lots, establishing safe spaces for children, creating jobs for the unemployed. As for the undead, their bodies were given proper burials. Each grave was a stark reminder of the price they had paid, of the curse they had survived. The once crumbling church was restored, standing as a symbol of their transformation, from a birthplace of violence to a sanctuary of redemption. Word spread of the gang who fought their own fallen comrades, of how they battled an unholy plague, and how they emerged changed. The legend of the Crescent Crew seeped into every nook and cranny of the city, from the grimy back alleys to the shiny skyscrapers. Tales of their encounter with the undead became a chilling urban legend, whispered around campfires and posted on internet forums. And the Hood, once feared and avoided, became a testament to change. To the world, it was a sign that even the most entrenched cycles of violence could be broken. To the surviving members of the Crescent Crew, it was home, their streets of shadows, where they had fought the literal ghosts of their past, and won. As they navigated through their new lives, they carried with them a haunting wisdom, a chilling tale of their tryst with the undead. But what they carried with even more pride was the symbol of their transformation, the knowledge that they had the power to change, to break the cycle. For beneath the horror of the Ghouls, it was a story of redemption and resilience, a narrative of a gang that became the unlikely heroes of their own horrific tale. Their story served as a chilling reminder, echoed in the hushed whispers of the city, of the night the Hood's grim gangsters fought their fallen comrades, and in doing so, found their humanity amidst the horrors of the undead. Even after their gruesome ordeal, the Crescent Crew had no respite. Despite their commitment to bettering the community, the city did not forgive easily. Yet the gang, now protectors rather than predators, persevered. Unknown to them, a new, even darker shadow loomed on the horizon. Rumors of a menacing figure began to circulate. It was said to be massive, with eyes that glowed crimson in the darkness. A sense of déjà vu gripped Razor and his crew, another supernatural menace. This time, however, they were prepared. Calling on old city tales, they identified the creature. A ghoul, a monstrous entity said to be born from the anguish of those wronged by the living. The past sins of the Crescent Crew seemed to haunt them relentlessly. On one fateful night, the ghoul attacked. Its strength was formidable, each attack a whirlwind of wrath. The gang, though seasoned in their fight against the supernatural, found themselves severely outmatched. They needed a plan. Remembering their previous victory, Razor suspected the ghoul was tied to a victim of their past, someone seeking vengeance from beyond the grave. They needed to identify this victim, offer a resolution that would quell the ghoul's rage. As they began their grim search through the crew's dark history, the attacks grew more frequent, the ghoul growing stronger. Time was running out. In their desperation, they stumbled upon an old unsolved case. A young woman, Rosa, who had disappeared years ago, presumed dead at the hands of the crew. Razor remembered Rosa, a beacon of positivity in their bleak neighborhood, an innocent life caught in their violent crossfire. They needed to find her remains, offer her a dignified burial, an apology that should have come years ago. With Eleanor's guidance, they found Rosa's body in a forgotten part of the city's canal system. As they moved her remains, the ghoul struck, its rage manifesting as an almost physical force. It was a terrifying sight, yet Razor and his crew stood their ground, their resolve fueling their courage. They brought Rosa's remains to the restored church, laying her to rest in a dignified ceremony. Razor, the gang leader who had once instilled fear, now offered a heartfelt apology to the memory of Rosa. The church was filled with a profound silence, a moment that marked the crew's definitive break from their past. As they stepped out, they faced the ghoul one final time. It loomed ominously, but the rage was gone. In its place, there was a sense of tragic acknowledgement. As Razor held up Rosa's burial cross, the ghoul let out a mournful howl. Its monstrous form began to dissipate, transforming into a spectral figure of Rosa. A faint smile crossed her face as she nodded at Razor, her form fading with the first light of dawn. The Crescent Crew once again emerged victorious. Their transformation was now complete, their past sins put to rest. The city started seeing them differently, not just as a gang, but as protectors. Razor and his crew used this changing perception to inspire the youth, instilling hope and dreams of a better future. Their fight against the undead and the ghoul became legendary, an urban tale echoing through the streets. But it wasn't the horror that stood out. It was their redemption, their transformation from feared gangsters to community protectors. Streets once stained with blood now bustled with life and hope. The Crescent Crew's legacy of violence was replaced by tales of their bravery and redemption. The battle-hardened gangsters had not just fought supernatural monsters, but had also defeated the demons of their past. The community began to rally behind the Crescent Crew. The crew's name, once synonymous with terror, became a symbol of change. Children looked up to them as heroes, not as hoods to be feared. Razor, with his battle scars and wisdom, became an unlikely mentor. The streets, once echoing with gunfire, now resounded with laughter and the sound of hope. Yet the fear of the supernatural was never completely forgotten. Every so often, when the moon shone just a little too brightly, or the shadows seemed to stretch longer, a shiver would run down their spines. The memory of their battles served as grim reminders of the cost they had paid for their redemption. Razor often visited Rosa's grave, leaving fresh flowers each time. It served as a silent promise to Rosa and the other victims of their past that they would never forget, never let history repeat itself. The Crescent Crew's battle against the supernatural had taught them the importance of respect, even in death. Their transformation resonated beyond their community, drawing attention from the city council, the media, and social activists. They became an emblem of reform, a testament to the power of change. A gang of thugs who once terrorized the city was now being held up as an example of what true repentance could achieve. Every year, on the anniversary of their victory against the Ghouls, a ceremony was held. It wasn't a celebration, but a commemoration of their journey. The Crescent Crew recounted their story, not to rekindle the horror, but to keep the memory alive, a reminder of their past mistakes and the price they paid to fix them. The legacy of the Crescent Crew lives on in the streets of shadows. It's a tale of transformation, of how the darkest corners of the city can turn into rays of hope. It is a chilling reminder of their tryst with ghouls, a testament to the resilience of human spirit, and a testament to the enduring power of change. The tale of the Crescent Crew's transformation became a beacon of light in a city that often drowned in its own shadows. In their struggle, they found redemption. In their redemption, they brought hope. The streets of the city bore silent testament to their journey, from being feared gangsters to becoming unlikely heroes. In their tale, a singular truth resonated. Even those considered the vilest could change, could fight their own demons and emerge as heroes. Their story, echoed in the streets they once terrorized, became a testament to the transformative power of redemption, a narrative of a gang that had once been the terror of the city, and how they had fought and defeated the literal ghosts of their past. And in the process, how they had found their own humanity amidst the horrors of the undead. In the aftermath of their redemption, the Crescent Crew found their newfound peace constantly tested. The city, though appreciative of their transformation, did not entirely trust them. The ghosts of their past lurked in every corner, testing their resolve. But, as always, they stood their ground. Razor, despite the occasional temptation to revert, remained resolute. His journey had taught him that the path of violence was a dead end, a cycle of pain and suffering that had to be broken. Yet the supernatural seemed to have a bizarre affinity for them. In the chill of one autumn night, a new menace began to prowl the streets, a werewolf. Its growls echoed ominously, and the gnashing of its teeth sent shivers down their spines. Razor and his crew were once again thrust into the role of protectors. The werewolf, stronger and more brutal than the ghouls, was driven by a raw, bestial instinct. They quickly realized that this was not a spirit seeking redemption. It was a creature consumed by rage and hunger. The battle was ferocious. The Crescent Crew, despite their experience, found themselves at a disadvantage. Their weapons, effective against the undead, were useless against this beast. The werewolf was relentless, its attacks leaving the crew battered and ruined. In the midst of this desperate fight, Razor had a revelation. The werewolf wasn't just a beast. It was a manifestation of their own past, their violent instincts given form. This was not just a battle against a supernatural beast, but a fight against their own primal nature, their unchecked aggression from the days of old. With a renewed sense of determination, they decided to confront the werewolf. Drawing from the wisdom he had gained during their previous encounters, Razor devised a plan. They would fight the beast, not with weapons, but with their will, their resolution to change. On the next full moon, the crew faced the werewolf. Instead of guns, they carried symbols of their transformation, pictures of the community they had rebuilt, tokens of the positive changes they had made. Razor stood at the front, holding a picture of Rosa's grave adorned with flowers, a stark reminder of their promise to the past. The confrontation was intense. The werewolf charged at them, its primal rage against their quiet resolve. Each growl, each swipe, tested their commitment to their new path. But they stood their ground, their determination acting as their shield. Then, in a move that surprised even himself, Razor stepped forward, meeting the werewolf's gaze with a steady one of his own. In his eyes, the beast saw not fear, but a strong resolution, a promise of change. It saw the reflection of the man who had fought his past and emerged victorious. Taken aback, the werewolf hesitated. In that moment, Razor took his chance. He placed Rosa's picture in front of the beast. The werewolf stared at it, its rage giving way to confusion, then a strange sense of understanding. With a final howl, the werewolf backed down. Its form began to shimmer, shrinking until it stood on two legs, a man once more. He was one of the missing gang members who had never returned after the ghouls' attack. The beast had been a manifestation of his rage, his refusal to accept the crew's transformation. The crew stood in shock as their erstwhile member, now free from his curse, thanked them. His departure marked the end of their supernatural trials. They had faced the ghosts of their past, stood against a manifestation of their violent history, and emerged victorious. This victory was their final step towards redemption. They had not only proven to their community and to the city that they had changed, but also to themselves, showing they could face the literal demons of their past and remain steadfast on their path of peace and redemption. The city, in the wake of this newfound victory, began to view the Crescent Crew in a different light. They were no longer ex-gangsters trying to make amends, but heroes who had not only transformed their lives, but also protected the city from supernatural threats. The kids who once ran from them now ran to them with eyes full of admiration, not fear. Razor, at the helm, saw the responsibility that came with this change. He took it upon himself to guide the young, ensuring that they didn't walk the path the Crescent Crew had once trod. With his wise words and the crew's efforts, the neighborhood began to heal, to truly transform. The annual ceremony at the church became an event of celebration, not just for the crew but for the entire community. It was a symbol of unity, a testament to how a group of hardened gangsters had fought their own past, battled supernatural horrors, and became a beacon of hope. Each year, as they recounted their journey, their story instilled a sense of strength and transformation that resounded throughout the city. The tale of the Crescent Crew, their battle against the undead, their confrontation with the werewolf, and their commitment to change became legends whispered in the dark corners of the city. Their struggle was seen as a symbol of redemption, their victory as proof of the power of change. The streets they once terrorized were now their domain of protection, their haven of peace. The Crescent Crew's journey came full circle. From feared gangsters to respected protectors, they had navigated through their darkness to find their light. They had fought literal and figurative demons and emerged not just victorious, but changed. In the end, their story was a testament to the power of redemption, the strength of resilience, and the ability of even the darkest hearts to find light. The streets they walked were no longer just shadows, but a canvas of their transformation, a testament to their incredible journey. The crew that had once sowed terror was now the guardian of the streets, the unlikely heroes of their own harrowing tale. Thus ends the tale of the Crescent Crew, a tale of redemption, transformation, and resilience. From the shadows of their past to the light of their future, they had become more than just survivors. They had become the champions of the streets of shadows, a beacon of hope in a city of darkness. Their tale would forever echo in the winding labyrinth of the city's hood, whispered as a chilling urban legend, a narrative of redemption and resilience, of a gang that found their humanity amidst the horrors of the supernatural, and in doing so, illuminated the way for others to follow. The end of their tale was merely the beginning of a new legacy, one of hope, unity, and relentless determination. Hey everyone, welcome to our channel. We're so excited to have you here and share our content with you. If you're new here, make sure to click that subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and we can't wait to see you in the next video.